Yo, what's up? In this video, I'm going to talk about why you should stop being worried about starting conversations with people and you should just go do it. Because once you see this, I guarantee your entire mindset will completely change and your results will skyrocket. So let's get started. So basically, I'm sure you've been in the scenario where you've shied away from talking to people, and usually it's for a couple reasons. Either, oh, I don't want to bother or annoy them, or, oh, they just probably don't want to talk. And the reality is, even though those reasons are probably true for some people, the vast majority of people, it's actually the opposite. It's almost never the case. Most people, especially young age people, which is, I guess, the target audience, are really socially deprived and they're just waiting for someone to take that first step in connection. Like, if you can see this graph, this is Americans, and you can see that people 15 to 29 years, so young people, right? Their their time spent alone has gone up by 50%. So it's effectively gone like 1.5 times as much in the span of like 10 years from 2014 to 2023. And this trend is increasing. I couldn't find data to this year, but I guess that it's probably around here. It's probably past 50% at this point, which is pretty crazy because there's no way that because obviously as humans, right, we're social animals. We all like we evolved in tribes, whatever, like in groups of people. So there's no way that that desire and that need for human contact, which is developed over millions of years, has just completely halved and gone down in 10 years, which means that most people, especially young people, are actually really starving for social connection and they're devoid of it and want they're really waiting for someone else to make the first move like you. And so what you need to do is become that person, right? Because again, don't want to bother or annoy them or they don't want to talk. They probably want to talk and you're probably not going to bother or annoy them. If you've never seen this before, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is basically this like psychological framework. It's pretty much like a tier list. So essentially the logic is that as a human you have all of these needs, but you can't like fulfill a higher level before you fulfill like a lower level. Essentially the lower level is the most crucial and the most contingent on your survival, and then as they go up, once you fulfill the lower level then you can move on. And so you can see, I mean, you can read this, but it's basically comes from, having to stay alive, water, air, food, etc. Then it goes to not being at risk of dying anytime soon, having a house, shelter, income, etc. And then immediately after that, before even before like achievement, purpose, any of that sort of stuff, it's social. Friendships, community, intimacy, sense of belonging. So this, apart from not dying and not dying right now, not dying anytime soon, the very next tier of humans' needs is social. So you're literally playing a part in someone's fundamental human survival and you're fulfilling a fundamental human need. And so when you see up here that people are spending so much time alone by themselves, they're actually devoid of their needs. And I'm going to make a separate video on this probably next week, a deeper dive into this, but yeah, it's just super interesting that they actually are dependent on this and you're fulfilling a need for them. And so that's where it brings me to, I guess, the takeaway of this video, which is the water glass mindset. Uh, so basically, the analogy that I want you to think about is imagine like everyone around you is super thirsty. Like suddenly the water supply on Earth is just turned off. All the taps are not working. But fortunately for you, you have, I don't know, like a rainwater tank in your house or your backyard. Essentially, you have water and no one else does. And so whenever you walk around along the street, at uni, whatever, at school, everyone walking past you is just so thirsty. They're all like dying of thirst. But they assume that you also that you don't have any water to share with them, or they assume they don't want. Maybe they do know that you have water with you, but they don't want to bother you. They don't want to like beg you for it because they feel like super needy, right? And so when you when you have the water, you decide you want to be helpful, so you want to actually offer it up to people because you have enough, and these people are like dying, right? So you go up to someone, you say, "Hey, like, would you like a glass of water?" And they haven't drank in like 24 hours. You can see like their face and like their mouth is all dry and like they're all I don't know, they look thirsty, right? And then they say, "No, I'm all right." And you think like, "What? What are you talking about? You're so thirsty." And like, "Oh no, I'm all right. I'm good. I'll just pass on the water." Would you think to yourself, "Oh no, like they should have said yes. Oh no, the water must suck. I must have really terrible water." Or would you think to yourself, "This person's crazy. They literally need this, and they're saying no. I'll just find someone who wants it." Of course, you'd think the second one, right? Because at the end of the day, this is just some stranger. You don't really care. You'll just move on to the next person because everyone needs water. And so that's the mindset that you need to have with socializing. I know that was a drawn out analogy, but I think it's pretty interesting. So, firstly, the thing of people are probably looking at you and they probably are just too scared to make the move, and you can probably relate to that. But also, if somebody like turns you down socially, whether that's like a female like rejecting you, or if that's just somebody of like like another guy just like being a bit giving you the hint that he doesn't want to talk, or just saying I'm busy or I don't want to talk, whatever. Sorry, this stupid little insect in my room. Um, you want to swap that mindset from oh no, like I must have a really terrible personality. I must be ugly. The water must suck, and then shift that to this person's crazy. Like, why would they not want it? I'll find someone who does. There are so many thirsty people around me. Somebody wants the water. Most people want it, right? And so essentially, you shift your mindset from oh please like me. I hope I'm not annoying. I hope I'm not bothering you, to a place of you're doing them a favor. And so that's the landing point of this video. What I really want you to remember is that mindset shift from going from needy to fulfillment, like fulfilling needs. And remember that a rejection of your offer is a rejection, or is a reflection, sorry, of them, not of you. And if they don't want your cup, there are millions of others dying of thirst around them, right? Like they're all around you, waiting for you to pick them, waiting for you to interact with them. So when you go outside today and you see some strangers and you feel like chatting in the big, big world, ask yourself, who am I going to give water to today? And ask yourself that every day. And I guarantee your social life will tick up immensely. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this analogy proves useful for you. If it does, let me know. I think it's a pretty good framework. Because I only thought of it just now, and I had to share it. So I'll also probably make an update. I'm gonna give it a try today. Do it with me. Keep socializing. See you in the next one.